Hey, that's me, Jane from Strong Genes again. Today we came back with a real prevalent health problem. There's no doubt that many of you have breathing problems, but you may be unaware of the dangers of not detecting asthma early. Asthma is our topic today, so please listen well to the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates about the last studies and the facts that scientists are discovering every day. You can even contact us and get a free consultation from our agency. Don't hesitate. And call us on 606-230-2697, or you can find us on WhatsApp. Send us a message and benefit from the free offer. First, what is asthma? Asthma is a common but incurable condition which affects the small tubes inside the lungs. It can cause them to become inflamed or swollen, which restricts the airways and makes it harder to breathe. Symptoms include wheezing, breathlessness, a tight chest and coughing, and these may get worse during an asthma attack. Treatment usually involves medication which is inhaled to calm down the lungs. Triggers for the condition include allergies, dust, air pollution, exercise, and infections such as cold or flu. If you think you or your child has asthma, you should visit a doctor, because it can develop into more serious complications like fatigue or lung infections. Researchers at the University of Wisconsin studied 5,000 adults for the paper. 100 were on daily asthma medication because the condition was severe. Results showed they were twice as likely to have plaques in major arteries. Scientists warned this suggested a higher risk of suffering from heart issues. Asthma sufferers are at an increased risk of heart attacks and strokes, scientists say. They are twice as likely to have excess plaque buildup in the arteries that carry blood to the brain compared to people who are not asthmatic. Blockages in the carotid arteries is one of the biggest risk factors for cardiovascular disease and are behind 3/4 of ischemic strokes. Asthma leads to plaque buildup because of higher inflammation levels, raising the risk of damage to blood vessels leading to the formation of plaques. It comes after doctors urged asthma sufferers to keep their inhalers at the ready because they could suffer an attack while having sex. In the latest study, researchers at the University of Wisconsin studied around 5,000 adults with an average age of 61 who were at risk of heart disease. They were given an ultrasound on their carotid arteries, which carried blood from the heart to the head and neck. Participants were divided into 3 groups: people with persistent asthma, defined as needing daily medication; intermittent asthma, who had a history of the condition but did not need medication; and no asthma. 2/3 of people with the most severe asthma had plaque in their carotid arteries, compared to half of those with moderate asthma and non-asthmatics. After adjusting for age, sex, race, weight, other health conditions, prescription medication use, and smoking, participants with persistent asthma had nearly twice as high odds of having plaque in their carotid arteries than those without asthma. Dr. Matthew Tattersall, a cardiovascular expert at the University of Wisconsin who led the study, said, "The most important message from our findings is that more significant forms of asthma are associated with more cardiovascular disease and cardiovascular events. Addressing cardiovascular risk factors through lifestyle and behavior adjustments can be a powerful preventive tool for patients with more severe forms of asthma." He added, "We know that higher levels of inflammation lead to negative effects on the cardiovascular system. An increasing number of Americans are diagnosed with asthma every year, with the current number at 25 million, up 1/4 on 2 decades ago. When the immune system overreacts to a substance, such as pollen and spores released by mold, airways become inflamed or swollen, restricting them and making it harder to breathe. Severe sufferers can control the condition by taking regular medication or use an inhaler to alleviate symptoms. In the new study, researchers studied 5,029 adults who took part in the federally run multi-ethnic study of atherosclerosis study. Participants were about 60 years old on average, and had been recruited to the study since the year 2000. 6 in 10 were from a minority ethnic group, with estimates showing asthma is more common in Black and Hispanic communities. A total of 109 participants had persistent asthma, requiring daily medication, and 388 people had intermittent asthma, where they were diagnosed with the condition previously, but did not need daily medication and it may already be in remission. A further 4,532 did not have the condition. Ultrasounds were carried out to determine the number of plaques in the carotid arteries. Results showed among persistent asthma sufferers 67% had plaques, with about 2 on average. For comparison, among those who did not have asthma, 50.5% had plaques with about 1 in blood vessels. Among those with intermittent asthma, 49.5% had the plaques with an average of 1 in the vessels, which did not differ significantly from the non-asthma group. Blood tests for inflammation also showed persistent asthma sufferers had higher levels of inflammation than those who did not have the condition. Based on the results, scientists warned that persistent asthma sufferers were more at risk from heart disease and stroke. Scientists undertook the study to determine whether asthma sufferers had more plaques in the carotid arteries. The study was published today in the Journal of the American Heart Association. That was everything in this episode about a real danger that face all people, kids, old, teenagers, men, women. Don't hesitate if you think you have asthma. If you have frequent coughing or wheezing that lasts more than a few days or any other signs or symptoms of asthma, see your doctor. Treating asthma early may prevent long-term lung damage and help keep the condition from getting worse over time. I hope that you have benefited from this helpful episode about asthma and its relation with the heart disease. Do not forget to support us clicking on the subscribe button for more facts and information about the latest scientific and health studies. Jane was with you from the Strong Genes channel. See you soon.